Alright, I found my whole fucking A.
Shh, don't say that, man.
I'm so sorry.
Don't say that.
I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, now you're gonna get in trouble. Jeez, what's up, guys? Sorry about that little burp from Fernando. Apparently, my discretions on Monday kept us from. We got flagged on YouTube for profanity, so gotta really keep an eye on these things. So we thought we'd just chime in and say hi, maybe answer a few quick questions. We're working on a car right now. We got a nice Honda Fit here in the background. This guy right here, it's getting one of these guys jammed up underneath the seat. That's where he wanted it, so we're gonna put it in there. What's up from PA? What's up from FL? So yeah. Wow, Nicaragua. What's up, buddy? How's it going, Dean? Today was a bit stressful, if you're asking, seriously. I had to take Haley off to college today, so that was a bit of fun and excitement. So I was a little late today, but you guys have seen the vlog in a couple days. We'll talk about that. If you haven't figured it out, the vlog's actually a little bit in the past. We're doing that so we have a little bit of buffer. What's up from Houston? All right, what do we got? Jamaica. Dang, you guys are all over the place. That's awesome. All right, here we go. South Africa, you win. Hello from Chicago. We got a guy from South Africa, Fernando. Say hi.
Nice. Hello.
His name is George. All right, so what do you got going here? I had to ask you guys, there's a Accord Sport. There's no factory amp. How can I get RCA outputs to my factory radio? If you got a Honda and it's got no factory amp, your best bet is to use something like an LC7i. For sure, you're going to want to do that. Unless you want to go something a lot more expensive. You could do, on the inexpensive side, you could go something like a Pack Audio LP7-4 and then just either come out of, like a lot of these amps, like this is a sub amp. This has an in and an out, so you can come in the rears here or the fronts and out to the other highs amp. This is an LC2i. This is kind of nice if you're just doing like a 4-channel amp, because you have your main in and then your you have your main in, which is over here, which is a left and right in, and then you have a main out and a sub out. So this has an internal Y. Kind of like an LC7i. LC7i is just going to add another input for the third, which is rear. So that's kind of cool there. All right, let's see. Hey from the UK. What's up, Fro? Oh, Guatemala. There you go. South Florida. Hey, we got a South Florida boy. What's up, Victor? What's up, Ryan? Let's see. South Dakota. Pioneer NEX 4300. Now that is a great question, and honestly I don't know if it's gonna go with the 4300. The only reason why I say that is because if you look back through the history of how Pioneer updates their radios, that is not how they do it. So like the NEX came out, like we had the 8000, not the NEX 8000. We had like an 8500, we had an 8400, we had an 8300, and that's what turned into the 4000 NEX, which then became the 41, the 42, and the 4201. So they go in like this 4-year cycle where they kind of reinvent themselves. So I don't know. I mean, granted, they just came out with those new NEX, so chances are good it's going to stay that way. But I'm just as curious as you, and they're keeping a tight-lipped on that. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, we do have a Patreon page now. If you guys been, if you guys want to, I haven't really linked to it. I just set it up the other day. It's 5-Star Car Stereo Patreon. So I'm gonna figure out how to link to it in the YouTube thing. It was early in the morning and I set it up. And so if you guys want to support us on Patreon, do it. If you guys have any questions or you like to see something, let us know. San Antonio, Jacksonville, what's going on? All right, here we go. Can use HDMI cables on the back DVD player? Yes. Can use an HDMI cable on your back DVD player on the. So the 8200 has an HDMI output, which will not screen. All right, so it's an input. All right, so let me think. All right, so the 8200's HDMI is an input, so you can't feed the CD player out of it if that's what you're asking. And the only thing it won't. So if you put like an iPhone into an 8200 or a Galaxy or whatever over the HDMI, it will not output through the RCA. We got a whole video on that you can check out. But no, it's just an input, it's not an output. Mexico City, that's Fernando's hometown. Say hi.
Hi.
Hey from gloomy St. Petersburg. Yeah, it is a bit overcast today. It's a sad day. It must be Haley's fault because she's off to college and I get to be a college dad now.
Sacramento?
Get some cool shirts. Can the fuse size by the battery affect the performance on the amp? Okay, so the fuse by the battery only serves one purpose. There's my bum finger. Only serves one purpose. That is to protect the wire that's running through the car. If you have, now with that being said, so like this has a 60 amp rating on it. The fuse holder that we're going to use has, what is this, 150? Mm-hmm. This is a 150 amp fuse. This might actually be 120. The only thing this is going to do is protect this wire that goes through the firewall. Now, if I put a little crappy 60 amp fuse in here, which creates a lot more resistance, like a glass fuse or something like that, it will affect the performance of the amplifier. If I had a 300 amp amplifier, like something drew 120 amps, and I put like 150 amp fuse in there, that might be a little too close. That might also hinder the performance of the amplifier. So really, at the end of the day, what hinders the performance of the amplifier? This stuff right here, power wire. Power wire is your best friend or your worst enemy. If you don't have the right size power wire, it doesn't matter what your fuse is. So like this, even though this is a 60 amp current draw, technically we get away running an 8 gauge to it because that's about the threshold of an 8 gauge wire. It's about a 60 amp current draw. We're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead and just go right up to the 4 gauge. Why run on that jagged edge? So something to think about there. The other thing too, oxygen-free copper. Now, the argument is if you have OFC versus CCA, copper-clad aluminum. I don't even want to get into that with you. We use 100% copper. CCA is up to you. All right, what do we got here? Why when I hook up my Fire Stick to my Pioneer 8200, I get Fire Stick main screen, but then I click. Are you running a Wi-Fi on your Fire Stick? So you have to have Wi-Fi for your Fire Stick to work. What's up from Cincinnati, Ohio? That's Paul's stomping ground. Sacramento. I'm trying to decide between a 7200 and an 8200. Yes, the 8200. Okay, dude, if you're gonna do anything like Android Auto or Apple CarPlay on an 82 or 7200, the capacitive touch screen is so much nicer than that clear resistive screen. Totally worth the money. Fernando, how do you feel on that one? 8200, 7200, is it worth it?
Yes.
Fernando says yes, that's what you should do. I have HDMI input. Then you should run HDMI input. I have a Civic Si8, want to update my factory sub to a JL 8-inch on my original place. Do I need to change my factory amp? I would probably recommend changing the factory amp unless you're going to do like an entry level like W1 or something like that. If you're going to go bigger, into a bigger JL woofer. The other thing too is you're going to want to sound deaden the crap out of that metal. If any of you guys caught, what's the name of that guy's show there in Car Stereo? I can't think of his name. The guy in Norway or where the heck he's from, he just put a 10-inch T1 in the back deck of a Audi. He put like 4 layers of Dynamat on it. We use roadkill, same stuff. You're gonna want to roadkill, Dynamat, sound deaden the crap out of that back deck if you're gonna try to put a bigger woofer in it. That's the best advice I can give to you. More power, the better. Okay, bought a 700 last week from eBay. After watching your review on it, I had to send it back because the screen flickering, freezing, and even turning off and then back on. Ooh, yeah. No, we haven't really seen that problem on the 7800 per se. But if you're gonna, yeah, that's got a ribbon cable. Anything that flips out, you have any problems with it, you immediately take it back. If you're gonna do a flip out, you might want to try the new 3300 Android Auto Apple CarPlay radio. We just put a couple in now. I think 2 in. Really nice radio. The screen looks so sexy. I have had issues with iDynamic Micro firmware issues with the Toyota and a Scion interface. No, because I wouldn't. It says have issues with iData, Micro firmware issues or issues. Yeah, Toyota Scion interface. if you're using it on a Scion, I probably wouldn't use that other than to get gauges. No, we wouldn't even go there. So, but firmware issues with iData, it happens for sure. I have an Impala. What fuse do I need? What does it say? I have an Impala. What fuse do I use to turn on my amp? You're going to want to find one that turns on and off with a key. You're going to want to find something that's not critical. We don't typically tap fuse boxes anymore. We just buy the Pack Audio LP7-2. What that does, it's high level and has auto turn on built into it. So essentially you hook up power ground and then there's a blue output to the amplifier. So it's a real simple hookup, and we don't tap into the fuse boxes. I mean, we try not to do that anymore. Just because there's so much grief with car manufacturers, it's not worth it. What kind of an amp for 1200 watt peak, 300 watts RMS, Pioneer shell amounts? You could try the 8601 Pioneer. You could try the Rockford 500.1. You could try, which would be on the big side. Personally, with just that, I would check out the Kicker CX 301 or the DX, I want to say 501. That would run it. The cheapest one out of those will probably be the Pioneer 8601. It's a great amp. Comes with a bass knob. Can also mirror my 7 edge through Fire Stick. I found out since no other dongles or USB. Yeah, as the 7 is the tough one when it comes to mirroring. They fixed that in the 8 because Samsung just went to a straight HDMI USB-C connector. So that made everyone's life easy. Now it's just like an iPhone. Just plug it in and you're done. None of this over the air. Decide touching the screen to remove the silly message on the 9903. What can I, okay, so, yeah, so we actually just had this conversation yesterday. Basically what's happened is on the night, Kenwoods, when you put it in reverse, they have a big box that gets in the way. You got to touch the screen to make the box go away. It's really annoying. We just did a car yesterday where the guy had the flip out Kenwood and he changed it to the 3300 flip out. And the biggest complaint was I want to make sure there's no backup image, big box that's in the way showing us all that. So Kenwood just does that and it's really annoying and there's really no way to get rid of it. So if you hate that, you might want to think about going with a Pioneer.
He said.
Yeah, hi Fernando and Dean. What's up, Isaac? Why am I not getting any video on my Pioneer 8200s when I try to start my Kodi app on my Fire Stick? I have no idea. What kind of speaker batteries would you recommend for a 15 watt amp? SPV 44. You all have a Pioneer. Yeah, it's not coming on when I press the power button. All wires are connected. Okay, so if you're having problems, hi Haley, good luck in college. Thank you, Paul.
What the heck?
Yeah.
I thought it was someone else.
What do you got?
Thanks. I was like,
Thank
wow, how did they know?
Alright, hold on, right here. Okay, so what you want to do if you're having a problem with your radio turning on, first things first, do you have a voltmeter? You need a voltmeter. If you don't have a voltmeter, this is going to make things really hard. Do you have a test light? You need something that shows you current, because until your eyeballs can actually look at a wire and see what's happening, you're just guessing. So you want to make sure you can see that. Either use a test light, either use a voltmeter, and you want to test the red, the yellow, and the black wire. You need the red and yellow to have 12 volts. The red has to have 12 volts when the car is on. And of course you need a ground. So make sure you test continuity between the radio and the ground. We'll do a video on that and get this in this feed here at some point so that we can show you basic radio troubleshooting skills. Actually, I think I have one coming out soon. Car Audio Inc. Yes, thank you, Rob. That was one I was thinking about. Car Audio Inc. That guy just did a 10-inch in the back of a Audi. Turned out really sharp looking. He really overbuilt the shit out of it. Made me proud.
Sassy.
Has to be a college girl. You're winning, Victor. Congratulations. Why is your daughter so sassy?
did she learn it from you? So don't laugh.
Yeah, yes, probably did. I don't doubt that for a minute. Yes. But all their Android apps work fine, such as Vimeo, YouTube. You gotta remember, there's copy protection, so it might just be an issue with the Fire Stick not allowing things to come through. So, I mean, I know when we were doing a lot of testing on Miracast, we were running into issues there that certain things wouldn't go through. And even like a iPhone can connect to a Miracast dongle, but it won't share all the stuff because they have copy protection built into it. And if the app doesn't have the ability, you know, sometimes these apps lock these things down, so it might just be the app problem. What's the biggest sub you put in a car? What's the biggest subs you put in a car and judge yourself about its fitting? I don't know. I mean, I've had every size sub imaginable with the exception of an 18 in my cars over the years, which I do have an 18 sitting up front. We have a big Scar 18 we got to put in some dude's car. We'll see if we can get to that. Was S-type DSP or just bite the bullet, new head unit? Bite the bullet, go with a new head unit on your Acura TL for sure. 2007. There's no reason to spend, you know, $500 to $1,000 on a DSP. Get a better radio, save the money, spend it on something more important. You know, because you can get into like a new Pioneer, even a Singleton for God's sakes. It's going to have a 13-band EQ, time correction, crossovers with 6, 12, 18 dB, 24 dB per octave slope. The whole 9 yards. I mean, shoot, a single DIN 6900 has auto EQ built into it. I think that's like $180, if not less. So definitely want to go there. Who is the 14-year-old girl? Slippery. That's my daughter. She's actually 18, going to college.
Wait, what did they say? I have a daughter starting her freshman year at St. Mary's, and are you going to? Well, good luck.
No, but my wife will cry. And my tear
cry.
ducts don't
Hey,
work.
guys.
What's your opinion of CT Sounds amps? I've never heard them, but Soundman apparently really loves them because he just got that new 7000. That thing is a monster. Have you ever installed an MTX jackhammer? No. We never were an MTX dealer, and they weren't really big in this area. The biggest thing I think I've ever put in was a Gauss 27. That was like back in 91 or 2. I mean, and it was white. It was huge. It was a monster. Today's my birthday. Give a shout out. Game Dude 72. Happy birthday. Joseph. Good job, Joseph. Happy birthday. Awesome. Please laugh. I don't know.
Ew. What the heck? I'm so confused.
Good job, Joseph. Happy birthday. Okay. All right, what else we got here? Let's scroll through. Is there any wire coming out from the key wire? The person trying to wire to the key wire, and I touch, oh wow, on a piece of iron before use. I have no idea. All right, so what do we got here? Alfa Romeo. Wow. Okay. Can you make another video on how to install DVC subs and 2 terminals on the box and on the amp? Yes, of course. Why not? Using Alpine PDX on amp to keep going to protect mode. Okay. Alpine S-pair speakers, that was a problem. Okay, any idea what that one speaker could make the amp go into protect? Okay, so when it comes to a speaker, there's a couple different things that can cause a speaker to go and protect. One, you want to take your voltometer, go to continuity. You want to test continuity between the speaker wire in the door and the amplifier with the speaker out. Make sure that you test it, see if it's good, test it to ground, meaning take that speaker, go to the ground on the amplifier, see if it makes noise. If it makes noise, you have a short in one of the wires. We just had a situation in a Hyundai where they ran new wires into the doors. The guys that ran the wires through the doors ran them around the window. The window's been rubbing on it, dead short. It's been playing for months, never had an issue. All we did was go in and we were talking to him about the stuff. Next thing you know, we're pulling his door panel apart and finding a 1-inch piece of wire exposed touching the metal. Secondly, some speakers can short out to the basket. Now on a Type R, that's almost impossible because it's made out of a composite material that isn't going to short when you screw it in. But some speakers, the basket, the voice coil is short to the basket, you screw it in, it's shorted out. So if there again, you need a voltometer. If you don't have one, it's almost impossible to troubleshoot something. But you're going to want to test continuity between the wires, the door, all that stuff. We'll try to come out with these videos to help you guys troubleshoot better. All that, you know, now that, you know, you guys are asking it, we'll get to it. Putting out a Scion XB with a 9904. Nice head unit. With the JBL Club Series, front and rear Pioneers. Okay, spare tire sub. Sound deadened. products. Whew, that'll sound good. We just put the 9904 in a car yesterday. Actually, we put the 6904 in yesterday. That's a really nice unit. Screen is totally flat. Looks really sexy. Our Dodge Challenger is pretty easy to install head unit wise. No, and it's not that they're not hard to get the radio out. It's hard to get the radio back in and make it look good. There's some plastic you need to cut out behind the radio, and if you guys have seen us work on those, the dash kits for that car suck. So there's a lot of modifications you have to do to that to get it to look good. Like if you just caught the video we put up Tuesday or Wednesday, we did a charger. It's the same basic install, a lot of grinding, a lot of fun there. Joseph Steiner, shout out. I have no idea. What kind of music you have in your vehicle? The running joke is we have absolutely no music in our cars other than factory because we're doing this all the time. Scar Audio amps quality. Yeah, we actually have pretty decent luck with the Scar Audio amps. The bigger ones are better. Like they make the what's the model number on the Scars? The nicer ones?
The CV axis?
No, the amps. SX? Honestly, I don't know. They make a big 2500. That amp is a monster. How do you secure bass boxes? Okay, it's a good question. What we like to do is instead of actually putting in L brackets and all that and trying to fasten it to the metal, we find that's almost futile because for some reason everyone always rips the brackets out of the metal. What we try to do instead is secure the box. We put a board, put another board underneath it, secure it between whatever flooring the car has, so there's a lip there so that the box can move a little bit. There's a little give because the carpet will slide a little bit, but then there's like a 1 inch tall or a ½ inch tall lip that the box is resting against, and then if you need to take it out, you just lift it out, so you're not having to like unscrew the box or anything like that. I'll try to add some of those into the vlog too so that you guys can kind of see what we're talking about there. Let's see, what do we got here? What would be your opinion on Cove Audio? I haven't seen a Cove Audio in years. Yes, there is a remote that will work with a 2900 BT. It's just a standard Pioneer remote, so any Pioneer remote will work on that radio. I don't know the model number. Give Paul a call. He'll ship you one out or sell you one as it is. 727-216-6170. I'm a big fan. Thank you, Christopher. Hello from Alabama. Do you guys build custom boxes? No, we do not build custom boxes on site. We actually have a guy that will builds them for us. We just give him the measurements. He whips them out for us, builds them to whatever we want to do. That way we don't have to get sawdust and all that stuff in the install bay because we have a very small install bay. It's up from Poland. So that's how we get those done. The Slurpee's starting to kick in. Yeah, that and the, yeah.
I hope. I'm so tired.
Okay. I subscribe. Thank you, Luna. 4th order or 6th order? Ooh, good question. When it comes to band passes, I really haven't done band passes in a long time now, mainly because a lot of the subs have gone to the really big surrounds. And when you go to the really big surrounds, it kind of makes you got to build really big band passes. So I've been kind of more riding the ported box for a while now. I really like the way the ported boxes sound. If you're gonna go with something that has a thin surround on it, like let's say the Kickers and some of the Pioneer subs, like the shallow mounts actually sound really good in a band pass. We got a guy, Guatemala. We got a guy that likes to build those for the Vader, that car that's been in the Soundman. Those are made here in Florida, and one of the guys that is in this area actually builds parts for that car. He does the whole sound system for him, puts Kenwood stuff in it. He likes to build a band pass for those. So
Someone said you're getting your braids.
I'm gonna get braids?
Go, right there.
See who's great.
What does Haley have in her ride? Why don't you answer that, Dad?
Haley just got a new car, so right now she has factory.
Give him the real reason.
No, that's really what it is. Plus, she's going off to college. I don't want to put a subwoofer in the back of the car and have it get stolen while it's parked in the garage at school. So she's going to have to go baseless for a little bit. Bummer. But what she did have was a 4-channel Alpine amp, a older Kenwood subwoofer, and an App Radio 4 with some Kenwood speakers all the way around. What is your amp brand of choice? What is my amp brand of choice? Now, I don't really have like one personal favorite amplifier. I like to think of amplifiers as tools to do a specific thing. So it really comes down to what you're trying to do. I like a lot of Alpine amps. I like the new audio control amps a lot. But there again, I like to think of an amp as a tool. My favorite 5-channel amp, of course, is that little 800 1.5 Kenwood. I love that little guy. It's a great little amp. The PDX V9 is another amp of mine that's awesome. So, you know, that's just, it really depends. There's a ton of great amplifiers out there. All right, let's see. Are my Max batteries any good? I don't know. I like the Stingers. Underseat hideaway subs for her new ride. I hate the way those underseat things sound. Pizza.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Speaking of pizza.
This guy's, yeah, look at that one. Yeah, that's so sad. Tobago. All right, Trinidad. All right, guys. We got to get to working. I got to get this amp in this car. Thanks as always. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday for the Facebook Live show. Until then, be safe, be good. Bye.